There we go. I was a small little corner there. I don't even know if you saw me on the screen, but welcome in everybody. Welcome to tonight's live. How's everybody doing? I don't know if I have the right date on there. Ooh, what is? Oh, it is the right date. Okay. My watch face is different, so I don't know what the date is. But today is the September 17th. Can you guys believe that already? It's already the 17th of this month. It seems like the last couple of weeks have went by really fast. But if you're new to the channel, my name's Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. Thank you for joining me tonight. Welcome in, like I said, again to everybody. If you guys don't mind, while we're just, getting settled in, just take a second, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you'd like to subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you here. Also, if you'd like to become a channel member throughout the live, I'll put the link for the channel membership in the live. If you'd like to become part of our awesome family over here, So I'll say hi to, let's say hi to some people. Hey, Catherine. And I'm sorry if I missed anybody earlier, if you came in a little bit earlier. Sometimes if you have an early comment, it'll delete it. So if there's anybody, I'm sorry. Hey, Ladybug. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Mary Beth. How you doing? Hey, Solo. Candy Wrappers in here. Hey, welcome. Hey, Vanished. Hey, Steven. I should say your name. Hey, Steven. How you doing? Hey, Catherine with the C. Catherine with a K, Catherine with a C, both the Catherines. Green Eye Girls in here. We got everyone in here. Well, I'm just going to kind of go down to the bottom here. But I like that name, Jane Doe number 2. Where was Jane Doe number 1? Was that one taken? Or do you have it taken? Is it taken by you? But I like the name. I think that's a pretty cool name. Pretty cool. Okay, I'll get to the bottom here. But welcome in, everybody. Look at that. You're not that new though. 3 months. Thanks for being a member for so long. That's pretty awesome. It's a good amount of time, 3 months. Getting to know us. Thanks, Garrett. I appreciate that. And hey, Larry, how you doing? Welcome in, everybody. We are going to talk a little bit about Sebastian tonight. Mainly, we're just going to try to talk about the facts of the case. I have a really cool website that I found that has like literally everything Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers on it. I mean, it has like the timeline. It has a lot of the interviews. It has like a lot of the interviews that were conducted, with police and investigators, press conferences, things of that nature. So I thought that was pretty cool. So we'll see. Ooh, wow. Ooh. Yeah, Ashley, that is. We can only hope and pray, So I am going to put Sebastian up on the screen. We haven't done a live where we've actually started out the live and went over his missing flyer in a while. We used to do that every live. So we'll go ahead. We'll do it tonight. You never know who may be in the crowd. I am going to blow it up a little bit because it is kind of small, and I'll scroll down so that way you guys can see it. But if you don't know who this is, you must not be on YouTube, or you haven't been on this sector of YouTube. But this is Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He's been missing since February 26, 2024, out of Hendersonville, Sumner County, Tennessee. And these are this is his updated one, his updated missing flyer. It says date of birth used December 7th, 2008. He has blonde or brown hair, 5'5", brown or hazel eyes, 120 pounds, and he's a male. FBI is offering a reward up to $50,000 for information leading to the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And then the remarks on here, it just says Rogers has ties to Clarksville, Tennessee. That's because his father lives there. He doesn't live with his father. And it says here that he was last seen on February 26th in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. He was wearing a black sweatshirt, which was a black, like long sleeve type shirt, like kind of what I'm wearing, like this, but just like black. Black sweatpants and black squared frame glasses. Sebastian has a medical condition, including autism, that may impair his ability to return safely without assistance. If you have any information concerning the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, please contact the Sumner County Sheriff's Office at 451-3838 or the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation at 1-800-TBI-FIND. Or you can do tips to TBI at tbi.tn.gov. You may also contact your local FBI office, the nearest American embassy or consulate. They want the tips. They need the tips. They need any tips that they can get. Thanks, Cheryl, for gifting 5 memberships. It's very sweet of you. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. And whoever got a membership, make sure you tell Cheryl thank you. Oh, I didn't even notice it over here. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you guys before the live too. If my sound, because you remember last time, like last night, my sound went out and it was weird. If that happens tonight, it shouldn't, but if it does, do like those little bomb things, like the little firework things in the chat. That'll let me know. Like I think I'll see that. Like, you know what I mean? I'll be more like, if I want like a different page reading, so. But yeah, so there they come. So now I can see them. Now Scooter McBooter's Honey, Edler, Ladybug, Aunt Kathy's Storytime, and Chill. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. So we all know who Sebastian is, but I wanted to make sure we all kind of, we all really knew. So I'm trying to get us back to the facts. I'm trying to get us back to the facts here. I'm going to try my bestest to get us all on board. I have seen all of the drama that's going on surrounding this case, and I've seen, I've heard things probably, I didn't even need to hear, things I didn't even need to know. Seen things, know things, don't need to know things. But I think that I think we can, I don't know, talk about Sebastian and stay factual at the same time and not lose our ever-loving minds. That's what I'm trying to not do. I'm trying not to, I don't want anyone to lose their mind. It's crazy. I was just reading chat. Watch this for Nick the Hat. Yeah. Oh yeah, they are Nash Native. Yeah, they're trolling. Yeah, they are. They're trolling. They're also, I mean, they're filming in the lawyer's office. They're filming their TikToks and their YouTube videos, and they're doing the mostest over there. They're doing the mostest without doing anything at all. It's so crazy. By the way, I guess I should say this at the beginning of my life, since I am doing one on Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. But if you need to know, I do have an attorney. His name's Steven Sesser. He's a great attorney. He's all about 5'3" and he's fiery. So everyone's getting cease and desist again, I guess. So I found this website and I was telling you guys about it for a little while. I don't know how long it's been. Like a week or so, I think. And I was just kind of like, we were doing other cases and stuff. So I just kind of put it to the side, but I wanted to go over it. But before we go over it, I want to go over a couple of other things, but this is for, it says case files for missing and endangered. It literally has everything that you would want to know about this case on here. The only thing that they're lacking, they do have some, they just don't have all of the parents' interviews, but I think they have like 6 of each maybe or something like that. So they have like a good amount of, interviews even in here too. They have the timeline, they have pictures, they have like all kinds of stuff. So I thought this would be a good like reference to go to. We can read over it and just kind of see what it says, talk about it. Maybe that'll like, make us think of something. You never know. You never know. Might think of something that we want to talk further on. Now, let me go down because I haven't been keeping up. But I wanted to go over some stuff. So let's see. Okay. We didn't go over any of this. I'm trying to see where, because I'm on the Twitter right now. I'm just trying to see where we should start. Wow. We haven't talked about this case in a while. Holy shit. It's been that long. Okay. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to share this with you. This tab. So we'll just go like up through the different videos and stuff. But I thought it's been a little bit of time. It's been a little bit of time since we've talked about this case. And welcome everyone that's coming in. We are going to go over. So basically what I want to go over tonight is I want to go over like the post that SF's been putting out on Twitter. He is in Tennessee, or he's been going to Tennessee. He's went there once to search for Sebastian, and he is going back to do actual like searching. I think the first time he went, he was maybe mapping out things, but and we'll talk about it in his post. But I'm pretty sure he says he's actually going back to physically search. So that gives me a little bit of hope. I have hope that SF's going to get some sort of answers while he's out there. I have better hope in him than I ever have in Nick the Hat or Hung or Dog the Bounty Hunter, Tony Mathis. I mean, any of them really, like real. I mean, to be honest. So it looks like we'll listen to this video. What is he doing? Wonder where he's at. We'll listen to this a little bit and we'll see where he's at in relation to where Sebastian's missing. But we'll go over this, and then we'll go over. He did an interview with I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it, but Down the Rabbit Hole News had an interview with him, and I just happened to be online because I'm a chronic online user, and I saw that she was live with him, and I missed like the first 20, maybe like 20 minutes, but I don't think he came on right away. But I thought we could watch a little bit of that as well, just to see kind of what he says on there. I was in the chat. I listened to a little bit of it, but I missed a little bit of the beginning. Hey, play nice. You have hope in SF? I spelled whose name wrong, Solo? And who did? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hit play on here and see what they say, what he says.
So now on the flip side,
okay,
of looking down from the retention pond, so there's a school.
All right, you can see the school buses right there.
There's the cemetery. It'll be all grass. You can pop out here. So again, no shoes, let's say. And then you cross the street and you have these fields. Again, no shoes, be okay. And then when you do get to the hillside, very short order, there isn't like appealing, I guess you could say, type of like formations that if you just wanted to hang out or whatever could be appealing. No, I realize that this is daylight and it should be at night, but you never know if you've seen this area before, I guess, since the school is right there. But as far as, decision point, like we were doing decision point analysis with no shoes, this does make sense because this would not be, a bad walk. Now, again, you got to figure why in the first place. But then again, we see this with autistic music children all the time. So I don't know. The hillsides here are pretty. There is like they're not caves. They're definitely built in the middle of like caverns or whatever.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so that was his first video. Basically, he is across from the school, and he said in the retention pond, and that's where the dogs had alerted to. The one dog jumped into the retention pond, and the guy said, "My dog's never done that before." And we can listen to the 911 or the audio dispatch again as well too. So this is SF. So we're on his Twitter right now. He's down there. He's actually going to look. He is certified in missing persons cases. He's a private investigator. He's equipped to be down there doing this kind of stuff. I first met him, and I first knew of him from the Kylie Rodney case. But I officially met him, I would say, during the Chelsea Grimm case. Like, I introduced myself, and he helped me a lot with her case when we're still covering it, and she's still missing, the missing woman out of Arizona. So he had a lot of, because he was out there searching for her, so we could go to his page a lot and look at his videos, and we could actually see the terrain out there, and we got a whole feel, like it was a whole different vibe compared to the way that the news had described it. So it was good to have somebody out there that you could put your trust in. Let me see how to just going to play it like this, I think. Or actually, I forgot to I expand the window. So when I expand it, if I have to click back, it goes all the way out of like Twitter. So, or X or whatever you call this. This is video number 3. And it's only 2 minutes long. So while you guys are listening to this, I'll get the next video to ready, or I'll get the post. Because there's a few posts I want to read to you guys that are very, very interesting. Very interesting that he's put out. So stick with me, I promise. I'm going somewhere with it.
Right over the grass field, and it turns into this terrain. Now, I don't think a person without shoes can go too much further in, but for example, like I can see there's a hidden there's a cave, right there. We're not looking at.
So I wonder if those are the caves that they were talking about, the ones that they didn't want to go into. Remember, there was one that they didn't want to go into. They said it was, and I want to hear it again, but I heard that it was like collapsed a little bit or something, or it was collapsed. So.
With binoculars, I can see it's somewhat deep. And I think there's more
binoculars. I haven't seen I haven't seen someone use a pair of binoculars in a long time.
Here. Being by myself right now, I'm not comfortable going in the cave just in case. But I get somebody to search with, definitely would do that. I assume they've probably, would hope they've been checked. Seen some flagging tape, which makes it look.
Bet Chris Proudfoot would help. Just
like
saying.
Search and rescue.
He probably would.
Area, but I don't see a lot of it. So you never know. Mm-hmm. And I'm not here searching right now. I'm not searching right now. I'm just kind of trying to pick or look at possible, decision points. Where a person would have to make a decision to do something, and what would be probably most logical or path of least resistance. So you can see these, we're still very close to, that's the school right there. So.
Has anyone because you guys will know this in the chat. Has Silvers on Scene, maybe you guys will know this, but has Silvers on Scene been in this area to search before, or has Terry Lynn, has she been over here to search before? I've seen him searching across the street from, you know, the Proudfoots' camper, like in that area, but I've never seen him over here, but it could be because I haven't watched. You know what I mean? Like I haven't watched it to see it. No, they haven't. Because I mean, it looks like a pretty good spot to be looking, you know. The creek bed's all dried up and everything. Cheryl, thank you. You didn't have to do that. You're very kind, Cheryl. Thank you for gifting a membership.
It kind of does change my search area a bit based on being out here and seeing all this.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was fast. So we're just watching SF Investigates. We're on his Twitter right now. We're watching where he's been searching at in Hendersonville. He's right by Sebastian Rogers' parents' house. He's, so this is just what I've got. There's so much. I don't know yet. So take this with a big grain of salt. And maybe when we scroll up, we'll start to know more. I think the first time he went to Hendersonville was just as like an afterthought. I think that he was going there for another family that he was contracted with, and he happened to stop back, I think, by, you know, and looked for Sebastian on his way home. Now he's going to go back again. And this time, and I think this last time he was there, like he searched, I think he went into Chris and Katie's home too. I'm pretty sure. Like he went into their home, talked to them, looked all around, and then searched all around here. So we're kind of just going over his Twitter page because he's going to have a lot more information than, you know, a lot of other people are going to have because he's actually out there doing it. And he's certified too. So he's certified in, you know, looking for missing people, SAR certified or something like that. And I know he's a private investigator as well. I should know his credentials a little better, but that's what they are. Private investigator, and he help search for missing persons. So this is another one of the videos. He just has like little areas of him walking.
So I wanted to give a little better.
So it's literally like right where he was earlier. He's just walking through this river or rock bed.
Look at this area back here, since it was kind of dark when.
No, I wonder if that like gets filled with water at any point. Like, I don't think it does. Probably, I mean, I wouldn't think too much water, but I wonder. Oh, and it says right here on September 13th, back in Hendersonville for another day of searching. And then this video says some video of the search area in Hendersonville for Sebastian Rogers, Friday, September the 13th.
I did it yesterday or day before yesterday. This is to be across from the school, and the house would be back over there. So this would be going south actually. But in you know, it's all.
So his house is right back that area to the left. Wow.
Easy grass to walk in until you hit right here, and then it becomes, you know, this
I don't know, SF, I would bust my butt on that. Look at that. Imagine being in the dark. You're in the dark. You're trying to come down that embankment. No way, Jose. I would bust my butt coming down that embankment in the dark.
Right here, and then it becomes, you know, this stream bed, and then it goes pretty much straight up. So the distance to be able to travel is not going to be that far that way. However, there are these, like, you know, these I don't know if it's shale or whatever the hell it is, but you know, there's these little pockets in these. I wouldn't call them caves, but definitely areas where you can get tucked in, and even you know, down on the ground. I know search and rescues come here for sure. I mean, that's a fire station right there, but you just never know. During a hasty search, stuff can be missed pretty easily. You know, but this area.
That's what I'm kind of like. I'm in a way I'm hoping for, in a way I'm not hoping that he finds something, you know? Like in a way I hope he kind of finds something that will at least lead us to like a, you know, one way or the other. I hope that he does find something that leads us to Sebastian, but I hope that it's, you know, a Sebastian that's here with us. But man, where would he be, you know, for 6, 7 months almost? 10 more days?
Area. I don't know. I'm gonna spend a few hours. I might go up some of these little caves. I don't have anybody with me, so I'm a little hesitant to put too much pressure on these rocks, in case I come down with them. But
Yeah, don't be
it
going
is
in
kind
the
of an
caves
interesting
yourself.
area now that I really am shifting my search zones around based on, you know, the walkability. I really think it's going to be south, or it's going to be west towards the school there. That would be the most likely route if it's a walk away, runaway situation, which, you know, people that are focusing on search and rescue got to focus on, and law enforcement and those investigators can focus on the abduction angles and cover both, you know, just because I'm doing search and rescue. I do think, you know, I still think that it is a runaway situation, but I'm an investigator and I will shift my theory as the evidence dictates. So I'm not locked into a story and then, you know, make everything try and fit that story. I'm not trying to figure it out up front. I'm just trying to figure out the most likely hood of what happens. So, so he can be found fastest. Doesn't mean I'm right. So I don't know. I'm gonna spend time doing this today. I'm gonna search till about 6 or 7.
Okay. Oh, I didn't go back down. I meant to go back to the, it's just right here. Okay. Which one did we, wasn't it was that one I think that we just played. He's got like a few. I think he has one more. Okay. So yeah, he has one more. And then we'll play this and then we'll talk about everything too. So he does have I like his personality. He's taking little jabs at Nick and crew because I mean they're easy to take jabs at, you know. They really are. But if you don't know, SF is like SF's under the impression, like he thinks, I believe that he thinks, and I've said this myself, you know, that I've said before that I thought that Sebastian was closer to the home than people realized. I personally don't know if he's with us anymore, but but then again, because I think, you know, he could be closer to the home. I was saying like a half a mile, but SF is saying the same thing, and he's saying he thinks he's within a mile. So we'll see what he finds while he's out there, you know? I mean, that's all you can really hope for is they find something. Because these parents need some answers, you know? Um, not the internet, really, you know what I mean? Parents, I couldn't, I mean, 7 months of not knowing. So, well, I mean, because think about it, right? He, you know, he walked out of the house either like by himself or with somebody, wasn't caught on camera, right? Or if some people think that Katie did this, then the Ring cameras didn't pick up a whole car leaving. And I don't think he's still in the home anywhere. So it's kind of like, what happened to this? What happened to this kid? I I feel terrible for the families. I feel terrible for all of the parents, all of the families. They have, I mean, he has grandparents on both sides, that are grieving right now, not knowing where their grandson is. I couldn't imagine it. Everyone's out trying to make a dollar on it. Don't know who you could trust, don't know who you could talk to, don't know, you don't know who's legit, who's not. You got fake dog handlers in here. You've got creators going at each other. It's crazy, It's nuts. So try to get back to Sebastian a little bit. And remember also, this would have been in February. So not as much greenery as September,
So this is the area to the east of the house and just north of the school. The school is right over that ridge, and the house will be over there. The cemetery. This is actually part of the cemetery land. It's just I don't think there's any graves here, but so we looked at that path that Max, the canine, took, and if he continued straight, or if he continued through the retention pond, he could either go right. There's a decision point there, and you could do that without any shoes. You could go straight toward the school, make it no shoes, and then you could come this way, but again, with no shoes, even though this is grass, this stuff has, it's really wiry. It's got little prickers in it. And the shoes, no shoes is perplexing, and I'll tell you, I was at Katie and Chris's house. I was in Sebastian's room. They have left it untouched since he left. The shoes are, the four pairs of shoes are there. And why? Is it because maybe he thought that
I could just see all four pairs of his little shoes lined up too,
the shoes would make too much noise when he's
big,
walking out the front door?
He's 15, but
it's like, then where was he going? It's so hard to say. But anyway, so this has been an area of interest of mine, but so there's like property with little structures and stuff. However, once you get to that tree line there and across the street and over there, then it's family private, parcels of land. This is private too. It's just owned by the church in the cemetery, so I don't think they'd mind that I'm on it. But I'm not going to go on people's property. I do know that professional teams like Chloe's and the OEM SAR team, did get permission from the landowner. But as you can see, it's a huge parcel of land. So if you have 6 search and rescue workers coming here, you can only, or let's say you have 10, you can only hasty search. You know what I mean? So you're going through in wide lines. You're hoping for about a 30% probability, 30% detection rate. Because what you're planning on is the person's alive and you're calling out to them and they have the ability to call out to you. And between those, you can find them. Now, if a person's down and it's a grid search, it's a totally different thing. So you're going shoulder to shoulder and walking the grids. Take a step, stop, look, take a step. Everybody's doing it in unison. You could clear this in a hasty search 25 minutes. It would take you 6-7 hours to grid search the same area, if not more. So that's why, these areas have not been, the helicopters flown over them, but the helicopters miss too. We see it all the time. Look at, Danielle Owens in here in Tennessee. She was in the middle of a cornfield. They flew over multiple times. So anyway, I wanted to.
He said they flew over this person multiple times. Wow.
So, this area too, I really think what it comes down to is I truly hope this is an abduction. Somebody's got them. and they'll get them back. And law enforcement is working on that. I mean, if that's a probability, or certainly that's something they're pursuing, and that's why the search and rescue side, we're looking. So both recovering both bases. But if it is tragically a recovery situation, I think he's going to be far closer to the house than anybody would imagine. I think he'll be within 0.4 of a mile. I think he's going to be incredibly close, and everybody will be shocked, and then there'll be conspiracy theories about that. But it happens all the time. It happens often. We just saw it in that case in Iowa, that trucker. It happens a lot. I've been on a lot of search and rescue missions where people get missed, and then hunters or landscaping people or whoever, end up finding them. So I don't know. Like I said, I hope that somebody has them. But I just want to show you guys what this area looks like. So there you can kind of see there's the stadium lights for the school. So then the house will be over there. And where I was just at before this in the video is in that ridge line over there. And then that's what it looks like. Keep on going.
I wonder if those like big wheels of hay, do they have like things that I know that back in the day when I was like a little girl, they would have to roll the hay themselves, but I don't think they do that anymore. I think a machine does that. I wonder what times of the year they do that. Like they bale the hay. Just curious. And I'm also curious to know, this is kind of morbid. This is just kind of morbid of me wanting to know, but if I was a searcher, I'd want to know, like I would want to know this. So I'm going to ask, but what would they be looking for after this many months of out in the elements, being out winter, the end of winter, spring, summer, and then into the fall? He does have good insight, Aaron. I wrote him tonight and I told him thanks. I said, what did I say? I'll tell you what I said. I said, I just want to thank you for going back to Tennessee to look for Sebastian. It's refreshing to see someone go out there who actually has the skills to find someone. I appreciate you. And he said, thank you. Like, appreciate it. We have all these people that have went out there and nobody's done any good, it seems like. And then come to find out, it's just even more. I'm not going to go there. People are crazy on this app, on all the apps, on all the apps. So let's read what he says here, because this is about the 14th. Maybe. Let's talk about him. So, okay, it says, I'm back in Los Angeles from my trip to Tennessee. It's disheartening to return without having provided any substantial answers to the families. I really want some C's chocolate. SF, if I send you a gift card, will you send me some C's chocolate from LA? We didn't get our trip this year. We did make some progress, though. I had meaningful meetings and operations with the TBI and SCSO, and pressure has been ramped up in those cases. Key individuals are currently in jail. He's talking about his other case too. Hopefully reconsidering the cost of their loyalty to others. Progress has been made, but the fact remains that the families of Holly and Schnapp and Leyland Santinello still don't have the answers they asked me to find. And those are two cases we didn't cover on this channel. I don't know why. Let me know if you guys have followed either of those. While in Tennessee, I spent a few days in Hendersonville, where Sebastian Rogers went missing. I am not retained in that case, and I am certainly not part of the so-called 24 in 2024 Dream Team felons hunting children. What did I do to go back to the basics simply trying to understand what happened and where Sebastian went missing. I met with Chris and Katie, who welcomed me into their home. They have kept the house almost identical to how it was the day Sebastian disappeared, including his room, which remains a time capsule from that day with his shoes and everything. What I found was a home and room that reflected a fun and loving environment, not a hostile one. Sebastian's room was typical for a teenager. He had an 8x10 autographed glossy photos from singers and performers he admired. From meet and greet sessions Chris and Katie took him to, there were games and plenty of activities for his free time. His bed was made. I'm going to cry. Read this. His bed was made and his bathroom was stocked with personal hygiene products. There's been so much misinformation about this case. It must be incredibly maddening for Chris and Katie to have been steamrolled because they followed law enforcement's advice and stayed quiet to avoid compromising the investigation. For example, the thud Katie heard is almost certainly explained by something in Sebastian's room. I won't be too specific to preserve the integrity of the case, but they took the heat for it despite the simple explanation. I inspected Sebastian's window, how it opens, what security it has, and the relationship from the room to the front door and where Katie was while on the phone. It all makes much more sense once you see it in person. I'm sure it does. I'm a visual person. Chris spent several hours showing me around the neighborhood, explaining the tracking lines of the canines, camera locations, where lights appeared in the garage truck surveillance, and other intelligence not publicly known. What I found without a doubt were parents who want nothing more than to find their son. These are not the evil people that some have portrayed them as. They are hardworking, devastated, physically and emotionally worn down, misrepresented by many, and taken advantage by people like Nick Dogg, the American Idol guy. Who's the American Idol guy? Who's the American Idol guy? Tiny Tony, and soon to be Betty behind bars, and others who came before them. Who the heck went on American Idol? Oh, I think I know. I think I know what he's talking about. I think I know what he's saying. I don't know. Betty behind bars. Wow. These are parents who welcome help as long as it comes from people with genuine intentions. They are going through the worst time of their lives, missing their child. Although I am not retained in the case, I will offer whatever I can to help. Without interfering with law enforcement, retained licensed investigators, and professional search and rescue teams. We're going to have to put an Apple AirTag on you there at Phantom Growler. Haven't seen ya. I'm going to grab my drink. Okay, let me fix my chair here. And we'll go over and we'll read some more stuff on his page because it is pretty entertaining. Get his insight, especially from about that. Okay, it's going to take me all the way back. Nope, it didn't. Okay, cool. So this is going to be those caves that he was talking about in the videos. Look at that. You could walk right all the way through this one, it looks like. That would be cool to be in if you were a teenage kid, like a teenage boy. I wonder if he's ever been here before. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if he ever hung around this area. Is that what it is? Playing nice? Man. Hey, Carl. Like, I would want, like, you know. She probably made his bed. Probably made it. So, you know, I mean, because even Seth said that she's got like a hint of the OCD. Like when he mentioned what he didn't say like their house was nice. He said it pristine. Their house was pristine. And I was like, oh, yeah, I know what that means. That means she kept a clean home. I think she just probably made the bed. And she probably made it in hopes that if it was made, he would come home. My mom did that once for me. I moved out when I was like 18 or 19, I think. 19. I wasn't 18, I don't think. I think I was 19. I lasted 2 weeks. She cleaned my whole room, shampooed the carpets, wiped down the walls, even the ceiling. Like she was in there, she cleaned that whole place. I mean, it looked beautiful. I walked in and I was like, I'm home. She's like, I was hoping you would come home. That's why she did it. She said if she thought if she cleaned my room, I would come back home, and it worked. I came home. I was like, let me go pack my bags right now. I only need a car for like, just one car full. Oh, there's the cats. So he said he was looking into this tunnel and cats came out. It's kind of funny. But he said that Sebastian would be able to fit into one of these. Now, I don't know why he would, climb in one, but I could see him maybe climbing into one after a cat. I don't know why he would be out, but, I'm just saying, like, he does like cats. He does like cats. I wonder if he ever went back in that area or anything. Just a real mom, yeah. My mom always be cleaning something. Now I do it. I'm always cleaning, just like her. So September 15th, so 2 days ago, it says the city of Hendersonville, Tennessee has 16 license plate readers. These cameras are placed to capture all vehicles entering and exiting the city. I think it's safe to say that all the ALPR data from certain timeframes have been analyzed in the Sebastian Rogers case. I guess he's just got like, just letting us know. Okay. What? Some of these I didn't read, and some of them are just like, what? Oh my gosh, dog. Okay, Dog the Bounty Hunter. This goes on the September the 15th at 8:03 p.m. Dog the Bounty Hunter claims there was a motive to harm Sebastian due to a custody battle. However, has he considered that maybe Sebastian was stressed and afraid of living with Seth? Sebastian had a stable home. He loved his school, his teachers, and had a constant routine. And we've talked about this on this channel. Now, Seth plans to homeschool him while working 12-hour night shifts, leaving Sebastian home alone. Seth had led us to believe that Sebastian was not self-sufficient, so how would this arrangement work? Seth would be at work while Sebastian slept, then come home in the morning and sleep all day, leaving Sebastian to homeschool by himself. Essentially, Sebastian would be home for 24 hours a day, no school, no teachers, no classmates, and no stable home environment. This is loneliness. Seth has previously told us about Sebastian's struggles in various areas, yet he was planning to leave him unsupervised for 12 hours a day. Why isolate him through homeschooling? Moreover, something occurred at Seth's place about 2 weeks before Sebastian went missing. Could this possibility in the near future have overstimulated Sebastian? Since Dog is referring to this as a custody battle, were there any lawyers involved, paperwork filed with the court, or court hearing scheduled? All of those would be necessary for it to actually be considered a custody battle. Dog. Calling you out, Dog. Do you have any papers for that, Dog? Dog's too afraid to come now and search for Sebastian. Did you guys hear about that? Because the barbecue lady. A TikToker scared the dog off. The dog, Okay. Talk about drone. Okay, never mind. I don't know who that is. Okay. So 10 hours ago, he says, I have booked my flights and will be heading back to Nashville to search for Sebastian Rogers from September 24th through the 29th. Actually searching for Sebastian is the only way he will be found. I will be searching by air and ground, not by drugging people. Oh, man. He said not by rugging people. Yeah, he shouldn't have made any. Yeah. Yeah, he. Who we talking about? I don't know who that is. Oh, Phantom said it. I was like, what? DM said, no, it's fine. I don't have any. No, it's fine. Hit the like button. Don't forget to do that. See, I'm wondering, Sunday Doodles, if we're going to get more of an answer on that. Ever since the first time, this is just me, and I heard something that I mean, other people may not have heard, or I saw something. Maybe other people didn't see, or I felt something. Hypervigilance. I don't know what it was, but when Pascal first asked Seth the first time ever about him going and staying with him, and he said, yeah, he was coming to live with me, or he was coming to stay with me for the summer, or something like that. And then he said, so he was just staying with you for a little bit, and he's like, no. No. And then he's like, he's coming to stay with me. The way he did that, I don't know. The way he sounded when he said that, to me, it sounded like he was only going to stay with him for the summer. But I don't know. That I don't know. But I mean, we have talked about what SF has said. You know, if it were the case that Sebastian was going to go live with Seth for the school year, I don't know why he would. First off, he said he was going to give him homeschooling, but then he said on like Nancy Grace or somewhere that he had enrolled him back into Beechwood school by his mom. I just remembered that. So that doesn't make no damn sense. I forget where he said the I forget the exact interview where he said the Beechwood, and like he said he had him enrolled there since February, had him enrolled for this year too. Summer was how you took it too, Carl? That's how I took it. Huh. I think you're right. Okay, Aries. Aries said be right back. Oh. Really? Aries, are you here? Do I still have time? Oh, look. No, I was just kidding. I thought it was going to give me an alarm. I was going to give me an alarm for the eclipse. It just says, keep going to sleep around 12:30 a.m. That's when you know you're when you're like in this the sleep schedule things, like things telling you. Okay. Just reading these. Okay, I think that's all of them. Oh, that's all of them. Yeah. Okay. But we've been on here for an hour. Okay. Already? Let's see. I was gonna see how long it was with her and SF. Also, it's like right when she pops one. Okay. Let me get this. I want to go over. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it, but if you didn't, go make sure you go and watch Rabbit. So Down the Rabbit Hole News is another content creator on the platform. She's I think she's pretty good friends, or friendly with SF Investigates. He's been on her show a few different times, for different cases, involving missing persons. She covers all kinds of different topics. I don't even know what category to put her in. She's like a news anchor in a way. Like she covers just so many broad things. I'm surprised she doesn't do the weather, like, and you know what I mean, like middle of the day, midday weather report, because she really does. She does do a lot over there. But I thought that we could listen into a little bit of this with SF Investigate. She has him come up on her panel and they just talk about Sebastian Rogers and the case and what he expects to do when he's out in, you know, Hendersonville with the search and all of that. So I agree. I think Sebastian was very intelligent. I agree with that. I will go ahead and play this. If you guys don't mind taking a second, hit the like button. Let me put her link in the chat one more time, and I'll put it throughout the video too. And I'm going to speed it up just a little bit.
It's a long, well, it wasn't a long trip, but it was an exhausting trip.
I bet. Yeah. I was, you know, a lot of us keep track on Twitter. That's
Make sure you guys go sub up to Rabbit. She is a good creator to like follow. Her chat is extremely kind. They're really nice over there.
You want to know where SF is? Go check out his Twitter.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild lately.
Oh my gosh.
Sure.
So tell me a little bit about, why don't we start with the Twitter? Because it sounds like we were kind of curious. You were in Tennessee to check out a different case, but somehow you were able to kind of keep let us know what's going on with Sebastian. Do you want to start from there?
So I was over there because I have the Holland Snap and Layla Santinello cases, which are in Eastern Tennessee or in Kingsport. But when I go there, I fly in now Nashville and rent a car there. So I went in and I went in a day early and then stayed 2 days on the tail end to go to Hendersonville, the Sebastian case, which I'm not a retained investigator on. I've offered some opinions, mostly to do with search and rescue during the case. They, at the beginning, had very competent people involved. Now they don't. So, but this trip, I did meet with Chris and Katie, and got a lot more insight of the situation.
So for the people in the back, you are not retained by the for the people on the way back. All right, just making sure. By the way, Chico, there's a lot of people from Nashville in my chat. Chico says, "Tell SF I said thank you for handling this case the way he has. It means a lot to us from everyone from Tennessee."
Thank you.
So shout out to Chico.
It's been frustrating, and like I said, I'm not even an investigator, but I have watched people that I've worked closely with and that I really respect that were retained investigators in the case and get dragged for no reason, and it's been really infuriating because
he's talking about Chloe.
Done nothing to help Sebastian, to find Sebastian. It's only hurt,
Yeah, I feel like you've dealt with trolls like that to a certain degree.
I mean, Kylie Rodney. So many of my cases, and what they do is they follow me around.
I mean, I've even said that. Like, who the hell was he? During Kylie Rodney case, I said that. Have to go back and watch my full video. I don't want to watch it. It's probably sounds so bad, but I did. I was like, who's this guy? Come to find out, he's like the private investigator for the damn family. Who was I to say? Who's he?
From case to case, which is
you
fine.
Live and you learn,
When
my first case,
it starts coming from a parent to somebody like Chloe.
I meant to bring up that statement.
Makes me mad because it's just sabotaging the investigation.
He's a comment
and search efforts is all it's doing. And also just spinning this narrative against the other parents, which I'm not investigating a case, but listen, I can still investigate it right from the outside for my own opinions. And now I've met with him and I've been to the house and I've seen his room and I've seen other evidence that people probably haven't seen. And there's nothing. It's just like TBI and Sumner County say there's no evidence pointing out foul play, And but for these accusations to be going around, it's hard for those parent staff that listen to that over and over and over.
It seems like in this specific case with Sebastian, you have, I personally don't feel like at least the Proudfoots have put this narrative of accusing one parent or anything like that. They haven't, other than the interviews that they've done, but I haven't really seen that agenda being pushed as much as
they were asking. And I did start talking to Chris
several months ago. So I've been talking to him for a while, and because there was a group that was interested in possibly retaining me on their behalf. I didn't want to do that because Chloe was still an investigator on the case at the time, and so I have had conversations, with him, so I kind of know what's going on, but they've never accused anybody. However, what they've done is they've done exactly what TBI and Sullivan County asked them to do, which was don't talk to the media more than than you have to, and just keep it to certain facts and lay low. Don't get involved in drama. And so what they had to do is they take these shots, from the other side, and I guess when they don't retaliate,
The cop said, "Don't get involved in the drama."
people say, well, that's a sign of guilt. And then when it finally does bubble up and Chris retaliates, like on web sleuths, where he didn't retaliate, he just gave his side of the story, then he gets accused of, oh, look, he must be guilty because he's fighting back. I mean, it just can't win. But he's a guy defending himself, his wife.
Right.
He's a guy that has people driving by his house constantly. Their whole life changed with this, and there's nothing to suggest that they have anything to do with it. That anybody has anything to do
And
with it.
nobody cares. Nobody cares that their life has been affected. Nobody. It's sad. It's real sad.
7+ months later, we would know.
And nobody cares if Seth's going through stuff. I'm just.
From law
People
enforcement,
say they do, but it doesn't
I
show.
think he would start hinting at a person of interest.
It doesn't show, like with all the fighting, and all the drama. Chris comes out and respectfully says, "Please stop the drama. We don't want you to stop talking about it. We just want the drama to stop." Everyone stopped. Halted for 12 hours?
If there was something there,
Thanks,
they would
guys.
start. Everybody
Congratulations.
thinks this $50,000 reward is some sort of pressure campaign. It's not. It's just a token gesture by the FBI, I believe. If it was a pressure campaign, they would start indicating that they have a person of interest, and even if they don't name it or not, that's how they would put pressure on the person. But they're not. They're saying we don't have anybody, and there's not any actions going on that make it seem like there is. We're not hearing about search warrants being executed or anything.
So you got to meet with the parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was there any indication to you that, oh, I'm so worried about there might be more to this? What was your interaction with them?
Yeah, they truly don't know. They don't know what happened. I asked them that, and they don't. They don't know what to think. They're as baffled as everybody else is. More baffled. I mean, it's happening to their own kid, but
I couldn't imagine. I mean, I told you guys, I lost my cat. It's a cat. For like an hour and a half one day. I was freaking out because I knew these two doors were locked. So I was like, how did he get out of here? But we couldn't find him for an hour and a half. We looked everywhere. He ended up being in our hideaway bed, or like, you hide like stuff under, I don't know, one of those storage beds. Don't know how he did it. We still don't know how he did it to this day, but he did it. But I mean, it was my cat. So he's 16 years old. He's old, but I couldn't imagine being a parent of a missing child. Or anybody missing, just of missing a loved one in general.
They welcomed me in the house. They said nothing's off limits. Look wherever you want. Do it. I wasn't there to snoop around their house, and I told them, I'm like, I'm not here. I just came to meet you and talk. And they're like, well, let's go look at Sebastian's room and look at the different entry and exits and whatever.
I bet they wanted to talk about Sebastian too and show his stuff. I bet that feels good in a way,
So, and we did, and they haven't touched anything besides things that were maybe moved by TBI or whatever. But TBI did not toss. I've heard people talk about, I guess it's Seth. He said that they like tossed the room. I don't believe that happened at their place. It was just it was a typical like 15-year-old teenage boy. He had 8x10 glossy photos taped on the wall of young country, or I don't know if they're all country, but singers and performers, and he had probably 12 or 15 of them autographed. And Chris told me that they would take them to I guess Walmart has something where they have meet and greets, and they take them there, and he get these things, and he has them all on the wall. And then he has games, and it's just this typical teenager's room, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of sad to see, actually. You're like, wow, his shoes were there, and you're like, that, he's a real person, and all this chaos that's going.
Probably makes it go. I mean, that'll bring it home for you, Nothing like walking into a missing child's bedroom that hasn't been in there for almost 7 months. Shoes are lined up, ready for him to be there. Sometimes when you have autism, you have a little touch of the, ADHD. So that could have been a thing that he liked to do. His shoes to be in order.
Going on around him, but
my.
we're talking about a real person. And in the house, just the house itself, like I could see where, like where the couch is, so like where Katie could see, like where you could, in other words, when she was talking on the phone, what, how he exits to go to the, he would have gone to the front door, which is just immediately right there. What the window was like and what sensors and security there was on that. And then he showed me the canine tracking pass that some of the canines took, which was eventually that led to the retention pond. So he took me the whole way to that. And then, we really talked about what the options were from there, because, the thing is, the landscape is changing there because it's a subdevelopment, housing development, that means
Yeah.
everything's being graded and everything. But,
I saw you show us that area
Mhm.
pretty well. What did you think about that area? I mean, for someone, to just, for this young boy to just walk out like that, I mean, what were your thoughts?
Well, so before I went there, running search and rescue models and just looking at it on Google Earth, where it's really, you don't get a true picture of it. I really thought the area to the north and kind of northwest, that's very wooded and everything, it would be the prime area. But what you don't see on Google Earth, and even with the, even with like Sartopo, you see what, even with the contour lines and everything, is the elevation change is like really pretty drastic. So if you went to the north, not only would you have to go through other people's yards, again, and not trip any cameras, but you'd also then have to climb. So this is actually to the south, but it's the same type of thing, how it's a really steep,
Yeah.
incline all of a sudden. And I just don't think he'd be able to do it without either getting caught on camera and also with no shoes. If he truly has no shoes, and that's really perplexing in itself.
Those rocks would
still can't,
hurt.
figure that one out. I just think now,
Like, what would make you keep going? And just not stop. Like all of those rocks.
now the area to the east, which would be going towards the school,
Okay.
and the area to the south, which would be going to Happy Hollow.
So
I think
this is the area.
Yeah,
Okay.
Happy Hollow, or whatever the road's called, something Hollow Road, is a better area.
I'll write it
and
down.
the way that he went to the retention pond was heading, I mean, literally it's a direct, the retention pond is right in between the line he was walking and the school. And it really makes me wonder if, and this isn't something that I've talked to Chris and Katie about, because I just kind of thought about it after, but it really makes me wonder if maybe, was there like a school assignment due that he didn't have done and didn't have something for? Was he trying to get to his locker at school? Was he, was there something he was missing? I don't know if he's the kind of kid that's stressed out about assignments and stuff like that, but it sure seems like he was going the direction of the school. And it is the no shoes because he was afraid about waking up and making noise, leaving the house.
Yeah.
I don't know. The other thing I'll note too, is that when I was there, I didn't notice till I was actually leaving that they had two dogs, because they were kind of in a big pen area. Like the kitchen was kind of like gated up. The dogs didn't make a sound when I came in. So I don't think people talking about the dogs, not alerting or anything is anything, because they didn't make a noise when I came in.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, I didn't. I had no
Wow.
idea they were even there. So
Oh
no.
my gosh.
Well, they're two like little Yorkie style dogs, So
With his kind of
hopefully
level,
he'll
so it's
find 'em.
because people have made out Sebastian to be like this nonverbal child, and he doesn't know or anything like that. And I'm like, well, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I mean, he looks like, I would think he'd be familiar with the area, right?
Yeah.
So is it possible that he's familiar with the area and somehow he met someone?
His parents, Chris and Katie said that he knew how to go to the malt place where you could get malt, and there was another place. Was it the school? Because that would be another place that he would know how to get to, would be the school. I think that he probably would be able to navigate his way to his dad's house if he was in a vehicle, maybe.
And he was abducted, or what are your thoughts about that?
So I don't have any evidence of the abduction theory right now, but I listen, I'm an investigator. I'll go with the evidence. If any evidence shows that, I hope that's the case. I truly do. I hope somebody has him and we get him back. I just don't have anything to show that right now. Chris did say he's directionally challenged, but this is not. So I've gotten the impression. I'm not trying just to peg on Seth, but I have gotten the impression from Seth that this is a kid that needed a lot of help. We're talking about like diapers and stuff, and so that's not what I've seen in recent videos that have come out. Some recent stuff has come out, like him at a birthday thing. They were playing like Jeopardy or something, and that's not what we saw. And then it makes me wonder, well, if that is how he was, and Seth planned on taking him and to get custody, and then he was going to be working 12-hour days and leaving Sebastian alone. How does that jive? Like, so is he capable or is he not capable? And he was going to
have somebody set up there, right, to watch him while he's working.
That's from what I've heard, that wasn't going to be the case, but I could be wrong. But from what I heard, that wasn't going to be the case, and he was going to homeschool him. We hear that Sebastian loved schooling, loved his teachers. Why would you homeschool him and keep him home and he would have nothing to do all day long? So it does make me wonder if he was.
I just wanted to rewind it really quick. I didn't hear what he said right there.
Stressing out about
there, right, to watch.
And then he was going to be working 12-hour days and leaving Sebastian alone. How does that jive? Like, so is he capable or is he not capable? And he was going to
have somebody set up there, right, to watch him while he's working.
That's from what I've heard, that wasn't going to be the case, but I could be wrong. But from what I heard, that wasn't going to be the case, and he was going to homeschool him. We hear that Sebastian loved schooling, loved his teachers. Why would you homeschool him and keep him home and he would have nothing to do all day long? So it does make me wonder if he was stressing out about the possibility of that. And I don't think that was set in stone. If that transition was going to happen, I know that Dog is saying that this is a custody battle. There was no custody battle. There's no court case. There's no lawyers involved. There's no nothing. And it's so, I don't know. I think it's just all being misportrayed. And I think it's incredibly frustrating.
No custody battle, Dog.
For Chris and Katie. And because
so they have 3 dogs now? That's awfully sweet. They got our new dog. Oh, that's sad.
Just so much non-truth out there.
Absolutely. Well, and I'm so happy. Shout out to Wim who said, and I think the point is, this is not every autistic person is disabled. So I think that's the piece that a lot of people are missing, that they're wanting to say, well, my son or maybe a family member is autistic, or my daughter, whatever it may be, and therefore this is how they would do things. And I also think that we've been as a community here been painted this idea of who or what Sebastian was doing from one parent to the other, and it sounds very conflicting sometimes of their children's abilities or non-abilities or whatever it may be, and it leaves us very lost, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, being on a couple of search and rescue teams, law enforcement teams, autistic missing children is one of our big priority, and it's something that we really train a lot more in now, because there's new protocols as far as we go out and we defend the water now. We're not really looking for them immediately. We go out and we defend the water and let them come to us, and but this is not because they're disabled. These are autistic children and adults are super creative, inquisitive, people that explore, and they like and like to experience things, and they have different sensory perceptions, and so they're not doing this because they're disabled or they're getting in trouble or something like that. They're just, especially the children don't understand the risk, and don't have that fear that we might hope, and so it's a real problem with water. But there's nothing to suggest that Sebastian couldn't. I don't know. It's some of the stuff I've taken from Seth is that he just couldn't really do much on his own, without help, and I don't believe that's the case, at all.
Why? And this has this been substantiated that because I've heard rumors from different places that there was a CPS or DHS investigation against Chris and the family with regards to Sebastian?
So I honestly don't know that. That's not something I'm gonna go there with him on, because from what I'll just say from what I've heard just through, and not from them, is that there was something investigating and closed, and I know that. I think it was even Seth that said that they had to kind of talk to Sebastian, something about you can't just make things up. But because I think there was one against Seth too, where he was saying things to teachers, and teachers are mandatory reporters,
absolutely,
and they have to report everything. So, but there's never he would have been taken from that house if there was something substantial.
Absolutely.
Like that.
Well, but, and let me add this: I worked in, because there were people in the chat who were saying this. I worked in CPS for 10 years, guys. You would be amazed how many referrals people get. And sometimes there's substantiated things and unsubstantiated things. A referral, a call to the hotline does not necessarily mean an investigation. It could just be like a concern. And honestly, out of everybody here in the chat, if you got your kids, CPS doesn't discriminate. They're going to investigate or, maybe move those referrals out the way and tend to more pertinent safety concerns of children, if that makes sense.
And I've been working with a couple CPS investigators here in California lately because of a couple cases, and we have one in particular of a 13-year-old who's learned they can weaponize the system, and they tell us, they're like, if my parents don't let me do this, I just report them to CPS. So investigators do have to go follow up with that, and there's not much you can do besides have a talk with the kid. What are you gonna do? You can't throw them in jail. But they've learned, and the thing is, they talk to their friends that have CPS in their life, and they've learned to, like, hey, if I can't get my way, I just call CPS and say this happened or that happened. So, you can't believe everything when it comes, unless there's like a CPS action taken. Like you're saying, you're with CPS. Like when you guys take action, then it's because it's substantiated. But I gotta believe there's a high percentage of false calls.
Absolutely. There is a correlation between kids that are beyond the control of parent, that the parent maybe is just saying, all right, it's time out, or it's time for you to go to bed, or you will not be out past this time, you will come back home at this time, and then they call CPS, and then it becomes like this. Oh, this is just a conflict. Y'all, this happens a lot. So for
they try to take a phone, and it's like that's the big thing that I've run across with these kids. Like, they take my phone, I'm calling CPS.
Exactly. Electronics phone. That's what I'm saying. For those that are believing the hype that there was a CPS investigation regarding this can happen to anybody. This just happens to be happening to this family because of what has happened, with Sebastian missing and whatnot. So thank you for bringing that up. With the whole situation with, I guess I'm so confused as to how somebody who is a reality TV star person, and it seems to me that it's interesting because I only hear about this personality when a case is national news, right? Not when it's something local, not when it's like, here comes this reality TV star. What do you make of this circus that has built upon this situation?
I don't know. It's nothing against him. I mean, but this is not I got a text from them. Chris and I were putting a group text, and then Katie and I were putting a group text and it was like, this is so and so from Dog the Bounty Hunter's high risk fugitive task. I'm like, well, I can't help you with a high risk fugitive. I've never been a bounty hunter. But that's I guess that's what they're considering. Anybody that wants to search for Sebastian, I will go out and search, stay off private property, do it legally. Great, more eyeballs, the better. But just because you found some bail jumpers does not translate over to missing autistic children. It's not. He's used to dealing with getting tips from inside the jail, criminal networks. People are getting deals because of this. Because to give information. It's on an island, So it's not the same, and I don't think he's there in Tennessee, anyways. I don't think he's out.
How is he searching?
I don't know. They said he had 24 investigators, is what I was told, and I was out there. I didn't see a single one.
Steve, it's 24 content creators,
and they're all making 120 grand a year. So who's putting up the 2.8 million per year for the lawyers
on YouTube? I see you laughing.
I know. I'd just like to know how many of them are licensed. He's calling this an intelligence agency. You can't operate as an intelligence agency or an investigation agency or an investigator or anything without being a licensed investigation agency. And I don't think parole. I mean, the first question on the application is, if you have a criminal history, and if you do, you're, I mean, not all criminal.
You can't.
But,
you can't do investigation.
Parole. No, you can't.
And just look it up. Just look up what he's. I mean, I've said on the channel what he's known for, but I mean, and what he's trying to come after other people for.
They're not letting parolees, we'd like you to go investigate. I mean, we as investigators, I mean, I only do missing persons, but a lot of investigators do criminal defense work and stuff like that. Could you imagine having a parolee? Parolee is technically still in jail.
You're killing people's dreams.
Don't. Hopefully this doesn't air inside the jail. It's like, man, everybody at Pelican Bay is like, oh,
yeah, and you're not still in jail. You're still in trouble. You're not in jail.
Put that off the check mark. I can't with you.
And then we're gonna have parolees sedating people with Rufinol and all these other drugs they were going to use to get confessions out of people.
Yeah, whatever happened with that? Did you notice that when he got some pushback on that, he was like, yeah, we weren't really going to do that. Like, we didn't really do those things. We don't really do those things, guys. But if we need to use those resources, we will. But I do trust that SF will get the job done.
Which-
They're just,
What?
Well, you didn't hear about this? This is what
Well,
started it all.
I read it, but I was like, this got to be a joke. I wasn't.
Oh, it
sure if
wasn't a
was
joke.
real.
Oh, it was not a joke. I mean, no. I mean, I talked to the FBI and DEA, and I had conversations with them, and that's why I think they backed it off a couple of days later. I'm like, well, we're only going to do it in controlled settings at like prestigious medical centers. Doctors are not allowed to prescribe any medication if it does not have a medical purpose. And getting the truth out of somebody is not a medical purpose. And you sure as hell can't use Rufinol and all these other
could you imagine if you could do that legally?
narcotic medications they were talking about. I mean, could you imagine? First of all, let's say that they did. Let's say they just happened to trip upon the right person. That person would it would all be exclusionary evidence because it's fruit of the poisonous tree. You got it the wrong. You used illegal means to get a confession. Now everything is tainted. And that person walks scot-free. Best thing that could happen if somebody is responsible for this is that they get drugged by these people because then they get off scot-free. It's so stupid what and they have an attorney that's like, we are, and now
Wait, there's an attorney involved now?
Oh yeah, they said I'm supposed to be getting a summons today. And they're
Don't worry, he's fake. He's pretend.
suing me, so I'm dying to. As soon as I get it, trust me, it will be on social media instantly.
Oh my God, no.
But yeah, they said they're suing me in federal court for interfering with their investigation.
But what did you do? You haven't even done.
I don't know. I apparently I don't know. I mean, I've been trying to help them. I really have. Yesterday I posted directions on how to buy plane tickets online. Gave all the steps
He did do that
listed
too.
they can get there, but they're not. And
Wait a minute.
well, I mean, they need help. They do.
Yes, they need help buying an airplane ticket online.
Well, they don't seem
cannot
to be able to
with you.
get there. I mean, they came in like they're going to take over the whole thing. This, minimum retainer, $500,000 agency, and then
When Nick can't even leave the great state of Pennsylvania. He's on parole, not probation. He didn't get a DUI. He didn't get a speeding ticket. He didn't go steal some, sunglasses from the Sunglass Hut. No, he was in there for some racial stuff. Some big boy stuff.
so far, I
Big
don't know what
boy
we've
charges.
gotten, But hopefully they sue me because if they sue
No, Sheba, I don't believe so. That's just me. I think just is here for the grift.
me, then what's going to happen is then I'm allowed to do discovery. So then I can
But I
subpoena
don't know.
all their communications between each other.
I mean, I just think that him searching right in front of the camper and stuff, that wasn't going to help find Sebastian. And then he went back to the same place like 4 different times because he was seeing that he was getting views there.
Yeah.
He said he was scared, but he went and brought 2 women back with him. I don't know.
I can find out the exact ownership structure of that agency. I can find out everything about dog. I find out everything. So
Yeah.
best thing that could happen in this case, if we want to find out if they're legit or not, is them to sue me. So, and I'm praying that they're not lying for once, and that comes through today. I told them I would accept service by email to make it easy for them, and the attorney did contact me, and I gave him my email. So I'm just sitting here waiting for it.
Man, you just sound like you're willing to be very helpful towards this.
Oh, I want to help. I do.
Team,
Yes.
this crime fighting team. Shout out to you.
Jeez.
But and honestly, with all of this though, let me stop because
Yeah.
a lot of this is just taking
Yeah.
attention to what actually
It-
matters, right?
right.
Resources. We've had people jailed up for this, and it's just like y'all realize that you guys have caused more trouble
Oh.
for this situation.
Listen, it's because it's like Sebastian's not that he's the means to all this other chaos. It really needs, and I do think it's going to change. There's a big problem in that Tennessee area he's in. It gets that woods area gets so dense, and it's not just
Not just Tennessee, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Plus, it's not interesting to people anymore, really.
density of it. It's these
Think about it. I mean, look.
thorn, pricker,
Look around.
like bush.
What's being shown, what's being pushed, what people are watching, what people want to watch. You'll
type
see.
thing. So you can't send the canines back there because they're going to just cut themselves up. You got if they're not used to running with goggles, which most aren't, then you got their eyes exposed. So handlers don't want their canines back there. It's going back there as a person. I mean, it's so thick. Now, with that said, I also don't think Sebastian make it that far back, but the leaves weren't like they were, so he could make it further back and then it grows in around him if unfortunately he didn't make it out, there's these I posted some pictures yesterday. They're these drain pipes. Now I know search and rescues probably check most of them, but like we know cats are Sebastian's favorite animal. And the first one I was checking the other day, these cats came out. I posted a picture of it. It scared the hell out of me. Like it's blurry, but these cats. So I don't know. Did he follow some cats in there? Was there kittens? Maybe he was trying to help. You know, there's so many different things that could happen. There's septic tanks. Like,
is there any animals in the area? I mean, you said cats, but I'm thinking like
well,
mountain
so
lions or something like that.
That's a good question. You know, so I put out where I found some bones the other day, and I said,
Yeah.
can anybody verify if these are deer bones?
If you're just now joining us, we're just listening in on Rabbits Live with SF Investigates. He's been out on the scene where Sebastian Rogers possibly went missing. Well, he did. He is missing. So that is for a fact. But SF goes in, and he is a private investigator, and he's been he was working on the case just on his own, in his own time. But now I think he might be retained, but I'm not completely for sure if he is or not. But it sounds like he almost is, because he's planning like a section of his time out. He's going to be there from the 25th through the 29th, I think, of this month, searching for him. So what he does is he puts together like different maps, different like graphs, different things like that, that'll show like the percentage of, probability of like where Sebastian could be at. It's very interesting what he does for a living. So we're just listening in. Down in the Rabbit Hole News got an interview with him, and she's just talking about the Sebastian Rogers case. I've been putting her YouTube video link in there in the chat for you guys. So I'll put it in there again for you guys real quick too, so you guys will know what it is. Make sure you go over there, sub up to her. She covers a little bit of everything, like every topic that you can think of.
I didn't put anything about are these human or deer, and now that team has spun it into, I thought I found human bones, but I was trying to find out, are these deer or what other animal, because to find out what animals are in the area, is it coyote, fox, whatever it may be. And so now they've turned that into, I thought those were human bones. First of all, I would have never posted them or handled them if I didn't know if there's any question they were human bones. They're far too small. But that's a good question, because I do know that, especially in Eastern Tennessee, there's a large bear population where we're searching for like Layla and for Holland. There's a lot, and summer heavy bear populations. I didn't know if they have them here, and I was back there by myself. So those are things I wanted to know. And so I don't know. I have to look more into that. I only saw deer. The only thing I saw.
This case right here reminds me so much, and I've said it before when I was first talking about it, was the Alicia Navarro case. You're familiar with Alicia Navarro from Arizona, who 4 years after she disappeared. So she disappeared. She was around the same age as Sebastian, autistic, met someone online and was gone for almost 4 years, winds up in Montana.
She's the girl. Yes, of course. And, right after she turned 18, right?
Right after she turned 18. I mean, I remember that. And it was one of those cases that really, because we thought for the longest time, we thought that she had been trafficked and taken to Mexico, or because billboards were all over Mexico.
Right.
And it just reminds me so much. And that's why in my mind, I can't help but wonder if, maybe, and I know they've said, well, he doesn't have a lot of internet access. Maybe he met somebody online or something happened, or somebody had been watching him for a while, and then he became a target.
I hope. I mean, I just don't have any evidence of that yet. I mean, there are a few things that are not fully explained yet, but I just don't have any direct evidence of it. And the other thing is that, like I said, I'm also not an investigator in the case, like I've said. So my role would be limited to.
I'm muted. He's not an investigator. Okay. There we go. Like, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if he was or not. I knew that he wasn't the first time he went out there, like to search. I knew that he had met with Chris and Katie. He went in their house. He went in Sebastian's room, all the things. But I didn't know if maybe the second time, because he's getting ready to go out there again, if they had retained him for these next, 4 days or not. So I guess he's just going to go back out there on his own. That's really cool. That's really nice. That's really nice of him.
Helping with.
I mean, that's one hell of a trip. LA to Hendersonville.
Search efforts. And listen, TBI, Sumner County,
that's $1,000
FBI,
there.
Secret Service, they're all involved in investigating the abduction angle, if there is one. In other words, finding out if that's a possibility. I'm not going to be able to do anything that they can't do, especially not being retained. So I leave them up to them, and then I just will help with search efforts. And I hope that my efforts aren't needed.
Well, I have a feeling they might retain him. They might retain him when he goes down there because he just is somebody he could do more things if he is retained.
I hope that it is an
Yeah.
abduction and he's still alive and they're going to rescue him. And I'm not declaring him deceased by any means. I do think that's the I think there's a higher probability. And this is something I've talked to the family about several times. So this isn't like, oh my God, I can't believe SF is saying, on YouTube that he could be deceased. The family knows. I've had this talk with them. They know that. Law enforcement's had this talk with them. So I hope I'm wrong, but all I can do is help with search efforts. I'm not going to interfere with,
Yeah.
the investigators right now. They have enough interference as it is.
What do you say for people that are saying, well, Katie doesn't care about her son because she's not out there searching? Because I'm telling you, when I've spoken about this case, that is the comment that I get. Katie doesn't care about her son or so and so.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts about those kinds of comments?
So, first of all, not everybody knows how to act in front of a camera. I
Yeah.
hate being in front of cameras. I couldn't imagine also having a kid gone and people accusing you and then having the camera pointed at you when half the people watching it are thinking that you did something to your kid. It's got to be nerve-wracking because you're just every little thing you do is being judged. But what I can tell you is that in my conversations with them and in meeting with them, where there's not that outside stimuli, they just want Sebastian found, and they will help in any way they can, as long as it's people with good intentions that aren't there to exploit them or him. That's all they want. And I'll tell you, like, I got when I was heading to the airport earlier today, I got a call from Katie, and she just was calling to thank me. She's like, "Thank you so much for what you're doing." And it's like stuff like that people don't know about. They think she's like, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, what don't trespass on my land." They're like, "Come into our house, go look wherever you want, do ask whatever you want, look at whatever you want." And she just called me. Just she's back at work and she was working. She was like driving to a job. She's like, "I just really wanted to call and thank you for what you're doing and for helping Sebastian and helping us." And so
those are probably the times that are hard. The hard time, the hardest times. I couldn't imagine being in a car by yourself, driving from one job site to the next job site. Just that little bit of time by yourself with your thoughts by yourself. No, I think I'd be reaching out too, just
these are
thinking
people that do care. They're following orders from law enforcement to stay quiet and they're getting punished because of it. And there's another side that's taking advantage of that because they know that, and that's why that side's not getting the information from law enforcement that they want.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. And it's interesting. You're saying they're following orders with law enforcement, meaning that they're working with law enforcement, not against law enforcement. And so I would be doing the same if it means that I'm working with
Chris,
experts.
I had a question that was kind of like a question from law enforcement. Like Chris he has direct access to Sumner and TBI by text, and he got an answer instantly because he's doing what they've been told to do. And so they will, they're not giving him information that absolutely can't be, they're not giving him everything, they got to keep some stuff back, but stuff that's not going to jeopardize the investigation, he can ask them and he gets answers. And I don't think that that's the same with Seth. I don't know that. It's not like law enforcement said to me that we're not giving him information, but I can tell because Seth's saying he's not getting information. And there's a reason why, because he's making a mockery of the process. He's not doing what they asked. He's making the investigation far more difficult for them than it needs to be. It's already super difficult. He's piling on, and he's been doing this since the start, and,
why do you think that is though? Because I know like people have, and I mean, this is maybe speculation, like I don't want to speak, but it seems like the divide is, and I called this out last time when I was live talking about, your footage, there are these armies or warriors of people that say they are Sebastian's army.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I have to question, like, well, weren't you the same ones that were Summer Wells' armies? Weren't you the same ones that were the other missing child's armies? And where are you guys at? And where's the updates? So it makes me wonder, like, what is the end game here if it's not monetary?
I think I do think it's monetary. I think with Seth, and I told Chris and Katie this directly, what my thoughts were, and I do not believe that Seth has ever gotten over Katie. I think he's obsessed with Katie. I think he's still has this fantasy of them getting back together. When he talks about Katie, he starts choking up and he talks about the perfect nucleus family or whatever he says. It's strange. It's been a long time, and I think I'm not saying necessarily it was planned as the same, but I think he then used this situation as a way to try and get some alone time with Katie. He talks about Katie a lot, in bizarre ways, and I think it has a lot to do with it. I don't think he's ever gotten over it. I think he's obsessed with her, and I don't think he realizes the trauma that he caused her when she was much younger,
Mm.
and he needs to think about that.
Mm. Wow, I'm speechless. You know, like
This is my
I
opinion. I mean, but I
yeah.
told them both that I thought that was my opinion, and they listened. They didn't say anything back. So, but I feel that way. I think he's shown that.
Wow. Do you feel like then he's using this to kind of get back at her to a
Mhm.
certain degree?
I do. I think he thought that he could parlay this into a way of being like, hey, listen, we're gonna find Sebastian and be a happy family again, type of thing. And I don't think it was ever a happy family situation for Katie in those years. You know, I think she was groomed, to be honest with you. And I think he's got some weird thoughts about it, and I don't blame Chris for being protective of Katie and watching over her in this situation, because there's some unhinged people involved in this case right now, and
There
I
are
think it's
unhinged
scary for them.
people.
You know,
Yeah. I feel a level of sympathy for Seth because of the circumstances that he's in, but that's the only reason. Outside of that, outside of what I've seen that he's doing is not great, and it concerns me.
I feel for him too, but his actions are just like, I don't understand. It's not a person that seems that the main focus is his missing son anymore. It's the situation, and it's like what him and Tony can build out of this, or you know,
And it seems like they're feeding
seems
off
like
of
it's
it.
scripted. Sure seems very like it's scripted, like it's something
Yeah.
that they want to pitch as a script. You know, I think 6 months down the road from now, I'm feeling we're going to start hearing things about, like, this has been pitched as a movie or documentary or TV type of thing, because I've heard rumblings of that, and so it's I don't know. It all seems too calculated to me. Everything is, you know, you look at
Yeah.
just everything. Like,
Yeah.
you started with United Cajun Navy, and then Tony, and then Nina, and then T-Rev, and then, I mean, it's just one thing
The fake dog handler.
after another after another.
T-Rev.
And now
CJ was
Dog, and
there.
then Nick, and now
Clue. Who
the
else has been out there?
whatever, Squeaky
Dog
Voice
Bounty
guy,
Hunter,
you know,
Nick,
just like
The
Tom.
squeaky
so-
voice guy? Who's
the Asian guy now that's talking for Nick, because Nick has a piece of tape over his mouth, you know, and like lawyers,
He does have a squeaky
like
voice.
cease and desist letters. I mean, when have you ever heard of all of this in cases? You know, I mean,
the
cease and
drama is
desist.
too much.
I mean, a cease and desist went out as late as yesterday to somebody.
For
They're
reporting on
still hanging out. They're still passing out these things.
Was that yesterday? Yeah. Yeah, yesterday.
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. It's doing nothing
They handed down a federal one on Barbecue Lady.
except building a wedge between them and law enforcement, and it's making law enforcement's jobs harder. And
Go after the person that made $20-some thousand for billboards for your kid. I mean, like, sure, that's the person to go after. Sure. Yeah.
and it's creating two sides, but it doesn't need to be. It just needs to be everybody looking for Sebastian.
what can we do as creators if we're talking about this case? Like, what can we do different or better at in terms of this case specifically? Because there's a lot of cases that you could say that about. But I don't want to keep reporting on Sebastian Rogers if we don't have any updates, right? Of course, every once in a while to just bring awareness to it again. But
I think that's smart. I was talking to a reporter there,
Okay.
and from one of the big, you know, networks, and major networks, and they're just not covering it anymore unless there's substantial
Like an
news.
update.
You know, yeah, it's just
Yeah.
not worth it. Like, you know, I
Hear that? The big news agencies, they said they're not going to cover it. Now, Nick has been saying that he's going to go on like Court TV this Thursday or something. I forget exactly which station. If you guys remember, let me know. But I remember he did say, like, he was like, because we're gonna drop Clue's name and blah blah blah. It was on his Twitter. I'm just like, good luck to y'all over there in crazy land.
know that Bullhorn Petty, because had several reporters call me about this. That Bullhorn Petty and Tony were sending out like press aware deals. You know, like when she was going to be doing her protest at the summer county
Nobody wants to come to your stupid protest, Betty.
sheriff, like trying to get cameras there and stuff. And you know, it just that's not about Sebastian. You know, it's just not. It's about
not about
her
Sebastian.
getting more
Attention.
airtime. Yeah, and
You got
so
one
I
camera
get
there
why
for her.
creators want to cover it. I mean, I get it. It does, like, I don't know. I just
No.
I don't know what I'm not going to tell people what to do, to be honest with you. I hope that the searchers that are involved are genuine and like respect the local laws and search and rescue protocols and stuff, and don't go on private property or get permission to go on private property, and you know, and search for him and do it safely and make sure you know you're teamed up, and then I hope that other people let investigators do their job, whether they be um, um, state, you know, law enforcement investigators or their private investigators. Let them do their job. Don't
Yes.
step in. You know, like when you got things like coming out and saying you're going to drug people, that's really worrisome because that becomes exclusionary, you know, evidence, and it can ruin a whole case, you know, and they're just threatening that. And they were serious about that, by the way. You know, that wasn't a
Yeah.
joke, and that's scary. You know,
Yeah.
even if they ever found a doctor that was willing to administer it, that's scary. Not to mention, there's a Supreme Court ruling from like 1950 that
In my opinion, they came out here and they needed to make a splash. They needed to be recognized, you know, and a 71-year-old dog, the bounty hunter, ain't going to do it for you. So Nick came in. Nick and dog both came in, and they started up, you know, they routed up the internet, got everybody, you know, upset. And then they've done like a complete 180 since they first came out here. They were going to rug people. Now they're not rugging nobody. They're just suing people
you can't use
with fake
truth
lawyers
serums,
and
you know,
such.
so.
Right. I mean, I don't understand the controlled environment. And I mean, whoever said that, I honestly, I
They were going to take them
cannot
to
believe it.
Cedar Sinai. Like, okay, Cedar Sinai is not going. They don't have.
So they're going to give you a roof for you
the truth
to
serum to wing. Yeah, your doctors are waiting for you down at the truth serum. It's ridiculous. You know,
wake
and
up,
that's,
people. Y'all are being used. Like, wake up. If you truly care about what is going on, it's one thing. Continue to bring awareness. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Go over the details that have been listed by law
Please do.
enforcement.
Like, there needs to be a reset, you know, with Sebastian. Like, let's start. That's what when I did when I was out there. I was like, okay, let's just start at the house and the path that Max, that canine, you know, tracked. And he wasn't the only canine, by the way, that tracked. And there was also a couple other lines that different canines tracked, and we explored those. But like, let's start at the beginning again. Let's reset. Let's go back to the very basics, you know. And that's what, with the time that I have available to give to it, and I do plan on going back to Hendersonville in the next couple of weeks. But
Good.
The time that I have, I'm just going to get back to the very basic, and they can go off and you know, everybody can do the thing. But I think there needs to be a reset, and everybody needs to be respectful of everybody, and only be out there to find Sebastian and lay off the parents, Seth and Katie and Chris. You know, all the parents. Just stop. And
the fact that they're not talking to content creators does not mean that they're not cooperating with law enforcement, which is who is important. Like, guys, like, I don't get, like, I don't need to be talking to somebody that calls himself Dog the Bounty Hunter or Nick the Hat or a lady with whatever. That's the entitlement, and these people are sketchy as AF. Go search. I mean, their information is out there. I don't have to put that out there. They've already been
Texas EquiSearch was there for, I think, almost 2 months. You never heard from them one time.
Oh my! See, and I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I mean, so now Texas EquiSearch is, I will say, they're an amazing organization. There's different branches. You know, there's Texas EquiSearch, Texas, and now they have, you know, literally anybody can become a Texas EquiSearch member. You go pay $25. You know, but the main team, which I don't think is the one that were there, is like the hardcore, you know, really seasoned team now. But they still had a drone team out there that they stay stealth. They don't talk to the press. They, you know, and they were out there for a long time. And TBI knew they were there. You know, TBI, you know, cooperated with them. So there is groups that aren't content creators that are out there, and there's also a few that are content creators that, you know, that I don't have a problem with, because they're being honest. You know.
Yeah, I think you can kind of assess. I know you've been talking to a couple of us, and you can assess like the good ones. You're like, okay, these are, you know.
Yeah.
This is a good question from Kodo, who says, can you ask SF if he looked at that area? I think that there was like a collapsed cave mentioned or something like that.
So I'm looking at here is, so on Sartopo, which is a mapping system that we use in search and rescue. There's actually So let me just see if I can find it. There is actually, I saw there was 4 caves. You can, like, people can share some maps, and I saw another search and rescue group. Let me find it here. I think that the ones that person's talking about are these really well-defined cave areas, and there was one I heard that was like it wasn't stable enough for searchers to go into. So let me just
Okay.
see here on the shared data. So I saw something on shared data where these cave locations were. I think that's it here. And they look like they're out to the west, and let's see what else marked. Yeah, so there's these I see there's one in like Beeman Park, it looks like. And
Yes. So they said it
so
sounds like it was close to the house. Yes, that one. The officer says it was collapsed on the dispatch. So maybe just bringing that up to your attention.
so when I was just south of the house and directly south of the school, right across whatever Hollow Road it is, there. So you go from this grass area that goes into the wood line, and immediately becomes like a creek bed, and then it's just it's pretty steep facing. I don't know if it's shale or whatever, but there are these caves. In fact, I put on my Twitter, actually, if you look, just yesterday,
Mhm.
I put some still shots of it wasn't so much the cave, but it was these like
I saw
there.
that.
Yeah, there are ones that are actually more like cave. Um, that's the cat in the
Oh, those are the cats you were talking about. You see the cat guys in like little
yeah.
drains and stuff like that. I see that.
But he could fit in that drain, and that makes
Oh,
me wonder,
wow.
could he be followed up? So you got these, but there's also caves that go more straight back. Now I was by myself, and that rock is not totally set, so I was nervous about going into that, past, the entrance of the cave by myself, so, but yeah, I know what they're saying. There are some, and I'm sure there's some collapsed ones too, because like even like that one you can see through, all it would take is a good storm and lose one of those rocks or so, and that would collapse on itself, so,
Absolutely.
and that's everywhere. It's all,
Absolutely.
so I don't know exactly which one they were talking about. Now I do know that Chloe has their search maps from law enforcement, because there's a meeting with them about having some professional people out there, so it's probably marked on there, but I'm
Right.
gonna go find it. But I guarantee there's places that have that searchers didn't find safe enough to search, or whatever, that need to be searched. And there are groups that we've talked to about coming in that have ground penetrating radar and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
This is amazing. I mean,
You
I
guys
really
didn't
appreciate the
search
work
it?
that you're doing for
Yeah.
some of us that aren't skilled in.
I mean, I wonder if there is anything out there that's not like hasn't been searched because of being deemed too unsafe. But that's all of the interview here. I didn't expect our live to go that long. I wanted to go over that website with you guys, but we may have to save that for our next live. I will go over some of it though before we get off this live, because this is a really good website. Let me put Rabbit's video here. Oh yeah, don't worry about me, Harley Ryder. All my fundraising goes right through YouTube. I don't touch the money. It doesn't come near me. It doesn't come close to me. It doesn't even have my name near it. Yep, nope. Yep, NC. Yep, right through the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I did it. You're right, Renee. You guys did it. You guys did it. I just was here and talked, and you guys hit the fundraiser button. Yeah, so that's why it's so. You could do fundraising on YouTube. There's a fun for anybody that is a creator that gets monetized. All you do, it's super easy. You go to your settings, you hit fundraiser, you go to giving. There's a giving button. Go to giving, fundraiser. You could pick anything you want to send it to, anything that's like nationally, out there. It's all, you can type it in. If it's like a smaller chapter, you could type in their name, pulls it up, and it goes from the subscriber, whoever donates, it goes straight to that organization. So it doesn't come through it's not like it's a PayPal, Cash App, Venmo through me and I give it to them. None of that. Wouldn't do that. Not on a good day. I don't do numbers. I just don't do numbers. I'm so bad with numbers. So it was just easier for the fundraiser to do it that way. And then YouTube, I think they pay it out too. So they don't take a cut from it. So it really works out really well. And everybody's got a receipt. You can you go to your earn tab, you go to your giving, and it's right there. One of our videos did $109.64, and our live, one of our lives did $466.20. Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Cleaning, Mary Beth. That sounds like me. I was doing that last night. I was making the bed. Or yeah, I was making the bed. That was last night. Yeah. I was like, what am I doing? Because Vincent didn't wash the dogs. He's in trouble. He's supposed to do that over the weekend. They're hard to get. They're hard. Let me exit out of this because I think that's all I have for you. Actually, let me go over Sebastian stuff and then we'll talk for a minute before I get off. So this is the website I want to go over with you guys. I want to go over this with you guys. Maybe we'll do it like tomorrow during the day or tomorrow evening or something. We'll start on it. But it's good to reset. Just like SF said, reset, get our minds back to where they were, in the beginning of the case. So Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was last seen on February 26, 2024 in the area Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. He was wearing a black, I don't know why they don't change that to a long sleeve shirt. I'm going to say black sweatshirt. Because at this point, I think he's probably, hopefully, if he's alive, he's out of that, He was wearing a black long sleeve shirt, black sweatpants, and black squared frame glasses. That's my dog. Did you hear my dog snorting? Oh, Raya. You okay? She's been making these funny noises tonight. Hey. Hold on, guys. Hold on one second. Let me mute. She said, "You're done." Oh, did you hear her? We'll do Sebastian tomorrow. I feel so bad for her. Oh, did you hear her little? Hey, Badger Witness. Oh no, I am your friend, Badger Witness. No problem. Sorry, my dog just heaved on everybody. Did you hear my dog? She's done that twice now tonight. And I'm just freaking out just because a friend of mine, her dog just died. And so now I'm, looking at my two like that, like, you guys cool, you guys cool, you guys cool, But she just, I don't know. She sounds almost like a fur. It's like almost like a fur ball. Like, it's like, that's what she's trying to she's doing. Like, but like she's a dog. Oh, thanks, note to self. I love them too. They're getting older. Oh, hold on. Let me show you guys. Let me see if I have that picture. I wonder if I meant to take another one. I was going to do I was going to do a new one. I don't have that one, but yeah, they're not even, I don't think they're in camera view, but the one is, she's back there. The gray one. The brown one's over here. She just is, you can't see her because of the sign. She's her blanket. Oh, you okay, Riley? She's my favorite. Just kidding. Just kidding, Mia. I'm not kidding. She's my oldest dog. There's just something special about your oldest one. Your dog's 13. We got her in, I think, 2017. So that would be 7 years. So she's like 11. 11. So no, it was Araya. Mia's doing good. Mia's over there just being Mia. But no, Araya's making weird noises. She was making sound like a cat with a fur ball. And I do have a cat too. He's 16 and he's the best. He's the best. Oh, I love my cat. I love him so much. I could squeeze him so tight. He wouldn't like that. He would hate that, actually. He's very big and fat and his paws are massive. He's just a massive cat. He'll come in too sometimes and hang out. Oh, but they will. I'm going to try to do her nails this weekend. They're not that long. They're pretty long. And, even Vincent said today, he's like, her nails are getting long again. I'm like, I know, we got to hold her. So what we do is She's going to end up getting one of us, but I will hold her. She's 80 pounds of muscle. Like, so I'll sit on her from behind and like try to hold her. And I hold her like this and I hold her face so she doesn't like bite Vincent, and I'll hold her face like that. It's a whole thing. And then she'll just like, finally she'll just snap, like not snap, but she'll scare me enough to where I'll stop. The last time we did their nails though, as soon as Vincent went to clip it, I pulled her back away from him and I was like, no, don't do it. Because I felt so bad for her. I was like, this is like my baby getting her nails done. I felt so bad. Oh, I bet Great Dane nails. Yeah, that's how hers are. They're so thick. They're so thick. We bought the sander thing. It's still in the box. We never even opened it. We never even tried it. I'm like, why? We bought this thing for $40 or something. Like, we didn't even try. Yes. It could be the hiccups or indigestion. That could be it, Ladybug. I bet you're right. I bet it is something like that. What if she's got a little indigestion? I have to keep my eye out and like see when she does it. See if it's like after we eat, if we give her something, you know. Could be one of those. That makes me feel better. See, that's like that's something that I can be like, okay, that's way better than what I was thinking with the fur ball. Surely she doesn't have a fur ball. What is it? We tried peanut butter with our dog. Let's just say she got the peanut butter and she got out of everything. Like both. And there's nothing that can hold her. A car can't hold her. I mean, we hook her up to the front of a car, she's going to rip the front of the car off. Like, I mean, she's huge. She's not even, this isn't even justice. Her back leg is off the back of that bed. Like, hey, Mia, you want to come over here? Come here, Mia. She's like, is this a trick? It kind of is a trick. I don't really want to hear her claws. Battery's living with your son. Oh. Yeah, she's on the wall. The dog is. Yeah. Come here, Mia. Come here. She's like, I don't know if I should. Do you want to go outside? She's so smart. Look at her. She's like, I don't know what you're doing, but what are you doing? She's not looking at me now. You're so cute. Oh, look how cute you're being, Mia. Are you being shy? Are you shy? She is shy because she doesn't see you guys. You don't see nobody. She won't look at me. If you guys are like lonely, if anyone's lonely, get a Weimaraner. Get a Weimaraner. They usually love to be up your butt. She's usually so far up my butt. If I stop, her head will go up it. Like that's how, I mean, she's really like that. Now she's just laying funny. She's just laying funny. That's my girl. Yeah, holding makes her. She likes to be held. This big dog does. When I go to the vet, I have to cross my legs like that, you know, like a guy kind of crosses his legs. So I could put her whole big body on top of me because she's scared of things. You can hug her. Yeah, Sheba. She loves hugs. Look at her. It looked like she was trying to roll over like so you could pet her belly. Oh, but no, I'm telling you, those dogs are the best because they have like these little round eyes. So they're known for their personality shining through, like on their faces, like different like looks. She has different looks. I don't know how to explain it. It's with her round eyes. They're more round than like I don't know, oval. But you have to look them up sometime. Just look up anything with like Weimaraner looking, just like looking at owner. You'll find so many videos that are so funny. They just sit there and stare at you most of the time. Like if they can't touch you, they'll stare. So like I took a little nap today. I never do. I never take naps. Took a nap for like maybe 30 minutes. She was laying so hard against my back, I almost fell out of the bed. I was like holding on for dear life. Her head's just hanging over the bed. She's so funny. I'll give him some hugs for you guys. Oh, and he licked the scissors. Oh no. Your dog must be small, Nash Native, if your dog lets you do all that. My dog don't let shoot. She's like, don't touch my paw. If we go to touch her paw, she'll move them. Now, we haven't tried with Araya. She just put her head up like, what? But her nails are good. She can go somewhere. Like she won't rip the wall, like the thing out of the wall. I don't know how we would even take Mia somewhere to like, just do it ourselves. But I'm going to jump off of here. Thanks for talking to me at the end of the live. We'll go over, like I said, in the next live, we'll go over that, that file, that website I found, because it has, here, let me show you. I'll scroll through it real quick. It has like his missing person flyers. Then there's all the TBI stuff, that like all that information for the TBI. They have the timeline here from the 23rd through the 26th. Then they have stuff that says areas that have been searched, technology that's been used. And then they have the full timeline here that I was going to go over with you guys. And then all of these are videos and press conferences from different LE throughout the case, throughout the case so far. And then at the bottom here, they have like Nancy Grace. They have Seth Rogers. You can go to Katie Proudfoot, go to Chris Proudfoot, like interview with Chris Proudfoot. You can like go here, I think. Maybe. Wait, maybe I have to go down again. I think it's back down where we were. But yeah, they have like all the interviews. So they have like some of them with Chris and Katie. I think they have like 6 with Chris and Katie, and then maybe like 9 of Seth's interviews. So there's a decent amount. This website is actually also used by Ellen Greenberg. Her case is on there. A couple other people that I saw. Maddie Soto was on there. So I thought we could use this as a reference to get back into the Maddie Soto case as well. So yeah. I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna look right now. I'm gonna go take the dogs out to the side yard. Yeah, I am. I'm gonna go wake Vincent up if he's asleep. Make him look out the window. And on the West Coast, it's just now getting dark, probably. So, well, no, 12. No, it's been dark, I guess, for a little while now. But go outside, make sure you go look at the moon. It's supposed to be cool. Aries never came back. He must be looking at the moon. Aries got tripped out by the moon. I'll have to tell him tomorrow. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I do appreciate it. I'll see you guys all tomorrow on the live. Have a wonderful day. Was tomorrow Wednesday? I think so. Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. Hump day. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.